Hello and welcome to another podcast. You know who I am. This is AnfieldIndex.com. And today I thought we'll do an extra little pod just to talk about right backs because in the wake of what seems to be growing momentum towards the announcement of Trent leaving to go to Real Madrid, there has been kind of a collective view from the Liverpool fan base that there are no good right backs out there, or that there's only a handful of them. I saw multiple people say the right back market is really dry at the moment, and I just don't agree with that. I think in terms of obvious choices, sure, but I think there's a lot of really good right backs out there. And I think back to when we signed Andy Robertson for 7 million or 8 million, whatever it was, and the reaction to that. And I just think you would trust the lads that are making the decisions to go and find a really good right back to bring in. Now, it's important to remember that the right back who comes in is being brought in to play right back. They're not being brought in to play as Trent Alexander-Arnold. He is a one of one. You're not going to replicate him. What you need to do is spread out what he brings to the team across a multitude of positions, and then hopefully improve the right back position in one aspect or another. So it could be that you improve that position by becoming much better defensively, or you improve it by becoming quicker and maybe a better overlapper. Because for as great as Trent was, he wasn't a relentless overlapper up and down that flank. That wasn't his role. He wasn't asked to be. But if we brought in somebody who was, and maybe went for more of a playmaking left back who can invert into midfield and be more flexible, maybe the balance works itself out and you replicate his passing with a midfield signing. You replicate the creativity by upgrading the two positions in attack that we need to upgrade anyway. Number 9 and left wing. So I thought for today, we'd talk about some right backs. So 4 that I've seen mentioned, I'm going to rule out straight away. Jeremy Frimpong is not a right back, is never going to be a right back. He's a wing back who's actually a winger. He's tiny, he can't defend. He is absolute lightning, absolute dynamite going forward. Tremendously fun player. But in a back 4, definitely not. I would also rule out Thiago Santos of Lille, who I've seen mentioned by a few people. He's out with a torn ACL. We're not going to sign a lad coming back off a torn ACL. So rule him out. Ola Aina and Jed Spence are 2 names that have done the rounds. Now, if we were looking for a backup right back, I would absolutely be open to signing either of them. But we're not. We're looking to sign a starting right back, or at least a potential starting right back. And Aina and Spence just are not good enough to start for a club like ours on a regular basis. They're just not that level of player. They're both good, and it's no knock on them. They're both good players with a lot of things to offer. They're just not good enough to start for a team that has ambitions to win the Premier League and Champions League. One other player I'm going to rule out is Jan Puto, currently on loan at Borussia Dortmund, who've got a conditional obligation to buy. He's on loan from Manchester City. He is a very fun player. Again, I think he's more a wing-back than a full-back, but he is better defensively than Frimpong. But the ownership situation complicates it. I don't think Dortmund could buy him and sell him to us straight away, because I'm fairly certain it contains a buyback for City. So if it was a thing that we went for him this summer, Dortmund were like, yeah, well, we'll buy him for 20 and sell him for 30. I think City probably say, well, hang on, we've got a buyback for 25 or whatever it is. So we're just going to take him back and, screw Liverpool. So ruling him out as well. Now, I'm not going to spend too long on these players, but I've broken it down. I've got a list of 20. And I've broken it down into 4 different kind of subcategories. So these are established, you know exactly what they are, right backs, high-level players. The first one is Achraf Hakimi. The primary reason I have him on the list is because he's only got 1 year left in his contract. Now, there has been talk of an extension, but it hasn't been forthcoming at all. So, is he going to sign or not? If he's not, he may well be available this summer. Now, he's about a week younger than Trent, so I don't think you could make an argument, even though he'll turn 27 this year, that he's too old if we wanted to re-sign Trent. Hakimi is significantly better than Trent defensively, and he is an up-and-down winger who is a better overlapper than Trent. He's obviously not Trent on the ball. He doesn't have his passing, he doesn't have his crossing, he doesn't have his creativity. But if you're ranking right backs globally, Achraf Hakimi is in the same tier as Trent. He's in that top 3 with Trent. And he's worth at least kicking the tires on. Next on the list is the person that I think is the third member of that top 3. This one is by far the best defensive option. It's Jules Kounde. Now, would Barcelona sell him? That's another question. He's been there 3 years. I believe he signed a 5-year deal, which would mean he has 2 years left in his contract. Would Barca sell him? They need sales to be able to bring players in. They're rumored to be very, very interested in Luis Diaz, and they do have a brilliant young right back, and they're being linked with other right backs. So maybe it is possible that they would be open to some sort of deal around Jules Kounde where Luis Diaz joins them. I think it's worth kicking the tires on. He is a week younger than Kounde, so therefore 2 weeks younger than Trent. So very much in that same age group. And I think he's within the right scope for us. Outstanding defender. He's not going to offer you a ton going forward, but he can attack space really well. He does carry the ball quite well. A lot of it with him can be confidence as well. I think if you put him next to Ibu, teams just stop attacking us down that side. Because why would you bother wasting your time? Jules Kounde is outstanding defensively, solid but unspectacular on the ball, and I think he's worth consideration. A couple of Premier League options here. One is an option and one isn't. I just put him on the list because I've seen his name mentioned. Pedro Porro, who's a year younger than the others. Now, he can be a little bit inconsistent, but when he's on, he is dynamite. He can be a decent defender because he's got the speed and the aggression to do it. But his effort can drift a little bit. Andy Robertson was an inconsistent defender before we signed him. Now, admittedly, he was 2 years younger than Kounde is. At the same time, once he got in the back line with Virgil and had someone barking at him nonstop, the effort kicked up quite a bit. And Porro has made significant strides defensively in the last couple of years. Because if you saw him play for Sporting Lisbon, you would have thought he was a winger. But he has developed into a solid enough defensive right back who's really good going forward. Again, he's not a passer like Trent. He's more of an overlapper, but he can underlap, he can come central, and he does get himself into very, very good positions. He's a really good player. Now, Spurs likely don't want to sell him, but another missed season of Champions League football might force their hand. Because he's going to want to play Champions League. And they may have some financial issues, given how much they've spent in recent years, without that big influx of Champions League money. I think he's certainly worth consideration. Now, the only player I have on my list here who's not worth any consideration is the player who, stylistically and skill set wise, is the closest thing to Trent in terms of an established option. And it's Reece James. And I've only put him on here to tell people, stop suggesting Reece James as a right back option for us. Number one, he's Chelsea captain. They'd never sell him to us. And number two, the lad cannot stay fit. He's never healthy. So just a hard pass on him.
The Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to AnfieldIndex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.